I am not the expert on geopolitics.
Didn't you major in international relations in college?
Middle Eastern politics is not exactly what's at my kitchen table every night.
Venezuela is not in the Middle East.
I may not use the right words.
How the hell is that humor? How the hell is that humor? The joke is, we can clip together videos. That's the whole joke here. I've seen that be funny before, but the implication here is that she doesn't even know where Venezuela is. Because apparently a really common trait on the left is that we don't know where countries are. I'm sorry, I forgot to say hi. Hi. The good people at the Daily Wire released this video about a viral prank that a dope and based conservative pundit did, and how the left's brain is melting because they don't understand humor. Now guess how I feel about it. I hate the video. I hate every single thing about the video. The video is fucking stupid.
So that video started a firestorm. I remember us posting it, and I didn't know how it would do. Obviously, this is not a new concept. There are comedians, late night comedians, who have done this kind of thing.
Would you mind if I edited this footage to make you look insane?
Bing, 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 bing.
I'll take that as...
Oh yeah, she really got the left, didn't she? She really did. Yeah. This would really be a fantastic point. Honestly, I would have kept quiet and I would have left the video behind. If anyone on the left liked any of these people, the only people who actually enjoy any of this content are 40-year-old men. Like, the left does not give a shit. Like, I know that I said that even when Stephen Colbert did it, it wasn't funny, and I still stand by that. But even with that admission, I still think that Stephen Colbert did this much better than she did. Not only has Donald Trump always positioned himself as a joke of a candidate, we know that Donald Trump is a really easy president to make fun of because he says very, very wacky things. AOC does not. One of my biggest problems with the whole video was the idea that Stephen Colbert does this in the exact same way, which simply isn't true. Because one of my biggest problems with that video was the fact that I was sure that a bunch of conservatives were going to believe that that was an actual video. And the reason why a lot of people are going to believe that is because, unlike Stephen Colbert, who said this is a totally non-edited conversation, which means it's obviously sarcastic, she makes the interesting decision of titling it Ali Beth Stuckey, enlightening and hard-hitting interview with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and inside of the description, instead of all that explanation, she just goes, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, upon looking at the screenshot, there's two things that you should notice. Number one, this video was posted 3 years ago. That Daily Wire video was only made 3 weeks ago. And two, this video only has 13,000 views, which is way more than this video is gonna get, but still, that is not viral. For some reason, the Daily Wire seems to have a hard-on for shoving the word viral in every single video they make. Like, just look at this. None of these are viral. They do what I think conservatives do best. They make mountains out of molehills. They made a controversy out of Mr. Potato Head, claimed that it was a problem that the left was manufacturing, when really all the left asked for was for trans people to stop being killed. And I guess that's the only way to really get a conservative opinion across. If you don't make it sound like the world is ending at every single moment, then people won't actually care. Because frankly, a transgender person having or not having a penis has nothing to do with anyone else's life. So they need to make it sound like it's some kind of culture war, otherwise they'll be contradicting themselves. Because they're scared of contradicting themselves because every single day conservatives have to talk about individual liberties and everything, but they only like those individual liberties when they're exclusively afforded to straight white men. That's why women shouldn't have the individual liberty to choose whether or not they're going to have a baby. That's why gay people don't have the individual liberty to choose whether or not they get married until fairly recently. That's why racial minorities don't have the individual liberties to be allowed to walk around at night with a hoodie on without getting murdered like Elijah McClain. That's why even private companies aren't allowed to change the names of their toys because conservatives will get pissed off. But please do not forget that the left are the sensitive ones. Anyway, let's keep watching the video.
Still not. It's enjoyable and fulfilling, I will say, to kind of take a leftist argument that's a legitimate argument and then take it to its most absurd conclusion and show people how ridiculous it is. It takes a lot of time and a lot of resources. Hopefully I'll be able to do something like that soon, maybe.
Now that was the scene that absolutely broke me. Do you hear what she's saying, like with her whole mouth? On the Daily Wire, a 1 million subscriber YouTube channel. For supposedly smart people. I say supposedly with so many quotations, by the way. But she's literally admitting to using an ad absurdum argument. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to say to that? Like, you need to realize that Stephen Colbert was never trying to make a statement about the right. He was trying to make a statement about Donald Trump, who is famously a very silly man. Aren't the right the same people who said that they trolled a president into the White House? Regardless, you can't claim this is an argument against the left because it's a horrible argument because it's literally the definition of an ad absurdum. You just can't make this shit up. An ad absurdum, for my non-debate bros out there, is basically when someone's main argument is taking your argument to the most illogical and unrealistic conclusion and arguing against that instead. It's kind of like a really, really big straw man argument. And the right is really, really good at these. For example, the famous attack helicopter line. The identify as an attack helicopter joke has been repeated a trillion times all over the internet to the point where it's a meme on the left now. They got the known fact that gender and sex are two different things, and gender is something that's socially constructed and therefore can change over time, and went on to absurdify it, if you may, into a joke about how people can identify as metallic inanimate objects. Now the left does this too by fear-mongering people into believing that Donald Trump might be the new coming of Hitler. Donald Trump isn't smart enough to become Hitler, guys. Come on. And I'm not saying that Hitler is smart in any kind of way. That man is an idiot. But I am saying that Hitler had to organize a lot of people into doing a lot of really bad things, and I just don't think Donald Trump has enough brain power. Regardless, people on the left use this as well, but the one thing that you have to agree with is that the right uses it much more. For example, on the left, our main argument against capitalism will almost always involve America, which is funny because almost the entire continent of Africa is capitalist and almost the entire continent of Africa is incredibly poor. We could very easily make an argument against capitalism by saying that the top 10 poorest countries in the world are all capitalist countries, but we don't. We take capitalism at its best and we keep arguing against it, which proves that we have more to argue with. Or at least that we're taking capitalism at its best. That is a sign of a person who has strong points. The kind of person who will see the best points of whoever they're debating against and say, fuck it, I'm gonna keep beating you anyway. Even in your best case scenario, I still win. But of course, since today we have more research, the right has much less to stand on. It is scientifically proven that climate change is happening, but they will still fight us on it because they have nothing left to stand on beyond just hating the left. That's why it's often so frustrating to debate with a right-winger, because they're not actually hearing your point, they're hearing your position. I can barely count how many times right-wingers have said, oh, you believe in communism, so you don't want people to have their own toothbrushes? And because, unfortunately, conservatives tend to be less educated than lefties, there is a fair chance that they genuinely believe that these are the actual positions held by the left. And the few conservatives who are at least a little bit educated are making dumb fuck videos like this, and openly admitting to making ad absurdum arguments against the left. Fuck, man, I don't even know how to end this. Dennis!
It's absurd.
Anyway, subscribe if you wanna. I don't mind. Thanks. I'm also fairly sure that there's gonna be a bunch of watermarks all over this, which is fantastic.